In this video today, we're going to show you how to double your existing revenue by installing what I like to call an AI revenue engine. I'm Omar Jamal, CEO and founder here at Atlas, two-time exited founder building an AI since 2017. Guys, I've been building AI for a long time. People like Dan Martell, Mark Hargrove, Landon Middleton have rave reviews about installing an AI revenue engine. They literally say it saves them 2 people calling and texting full time. So if you're running a service business, you're probably just copying your competitors, trying to get growth by getting more leads. But believe me, that old school way just simply doesn't work anymore. When everybody's zigging, you gotta zag. Now with that, let's get right to it. And I'm gonna pull up this Miro board and we're gonna make this very informative for you. So this is designed for local service businesses without spending money on ads, without hiring a bunch of sales reps, without sacrificing family time, how we can double their revenue with an AI revenue engine. The 3 levers that we have. Number 1 is lead gen. We're going to show you how to crack the code with lead gen. The second lever that we have is speed to lead, how to get back to your leads in 60 seconds or less. The third lever that we have is automation, how to orchestrate this beautiful engine so that it runs like a Ferrari from you, from point A to point B. Let's get to it. Oh, I almost forgot. Why are we doing all this? Well, the outcome is more booked jobs. So we want to make sure that you walk away today with having more booked jobs in the calendar. More revenue, more booked jobs, more clients. Let's dive right in. Why should you listen to me first and foremost? So I am a serial tech entrepreneur. I've exited 2 times. I've been in the software space since 2017. So I was super early in this space back in the day. I've helped financial advisors with my company, Fortuna.ai, which had a successful exit, raise over $1.3 billion in assets. Yes, that's $1.3 billion. I was in AI 8 years ago. I've had multi-software exits under my belt, and I've just been having fun. After my exits, I've been traveling. I've been enjoying the world. And this thing called ChatGPT came about, and I kind of just got bored. I kind of got bored of hanging out at the beach. I'm married, I traveled, enjoyed the fruits of my labor, but I got really bored, and I had to get back in the game. And getting back in the game means leveraging AI to its fullest capability. I want to spend 12 minutes, and I want to show you action-packed, and I've tried to condense all of my information in as little time as possible to make this actually valuable to you. With that said, let's get to it. AI has evolved, right? That's the bottom line. AI has evolved. It has gone 10x more effective. It is more accessible. It's right there for you. You, all your employees, all your friends, everybody needs to be utilizing AI. I consult with a lot of companies. They pay me a lot of money just to kind of guide them on how to implement AI. But I'll tell you this, the easiest hack you could get 30 to 40% more productivity is by putting AI within your company. So let's show you how you can install an AI revenue engine to double your revenue. And listen, guys, we've done this before, right? This is Dan Martell. He's a partner on our business. I want to play a short little clip to show you what he says about installing an AI revenue engine.
A friend of mine, one of my business partners, Omer, who has an incredible platform called Atlas, and it's specifically targeted to businesses that generate leads to increase the power and speed to lead. We use it for scheduling for King's Club, right? So the team we have, if you guys don't know, it's really hard to get 15-year-old young men to commit to anything. So we literally use Atlas for outbound confirming, having the conversation. We actually have this cool Italian voice called Tony that does it as a joke. And it literally saves 2 people calling and texting full time just to get confirmation. And again, Atlas, the platform, does a lot more than just the lead response, but that's the thing that, helps people turn. I mean, you saw the math, right? Like the $1 million in revenue to 2.8. That's why I think a lot of people say, like, I need more leads. A lot of you guys are like, oh, I need more followers. You don't even talk to your followers right off the bat. So Omer's built some cool tech.
Fantastic. Here's Mark Hargrove from The Hot. They've completely changed how they follow up with leads. They're planning on implementing it across their business as well. Then you have Landon Middleton, who's the founder of a large agency. They're implementing it for all of their clients. And you have Alex Merkin, who's a partner at the Institute of AI, and he's also implementing it across his businesses. So with that said, right, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of today's video. The first lever that I want to touch on is something that's near and dear heart to everybody listening to this. Lead gen, right? How do we actually do leads? Now, to be quite candid with you, leads is a little bit of a vanity metric. Everybody wants more leads, right? You want leads that give you dollars. That's the bottom line. And trust me, believe me when I tell you this, I have spent 7 years of my life generating leads. At our peak, we were generating 8,000 leads per month for financial advisors, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, you name it. We've worked with them, right? So I'll tell you this, you want leads, but you want leads that are ready to pay you top dollar because those are the leads that are actually valuable to you. That's what we like to call qualified leads, right? People who actually want to do business with you and do that today. Now, you could get 30 tire kickers, right? They're just going to waste your time. Or you could get 5 qualified, ready to buy prospects today. And I bet you want the 5 qualified, ready to buy prospects today so that you do not waste your time with the 30 tire kickers. Now, when you think about how do you generate leads, right? So there's really only 2 ways to generate leads. That's right. There's only 2 ways. I don't care what people tell you, but there's only 2 ways to generate leads. Number 1 is outbound, right? Outbound is you could do door knocking, you could do email outbound, you could do cold calling, you could do cold DMing on LinkedIn, Instagram, socials. But to be quite honest with you, I think cold calling somewhat still works, but everything else, it just doesn't work anymore, right? The markets are saturated. The markets are super, super tough to plan. For cold calling too, you need a lot of input to get a sizable output. There's no leverage in that channel today. So that leads me to the next point, which is inbound, right? With inbound, let's dive into it because a traditional marketing funnel looks something like this. You have awareness at the top, you have consideration, and then you have decision, right? This is how people are going to hear about you. So how awareness is how people are going to hear about you. Consideration is how they're going to take some action. You want them to take a click, and you only have 8 seconds to capture someone's attention. Decision is how do you actually get somebody to submit a lead form that they're going to actually speak to you to have a conversation. So awareness, consideration, decision, how they hear about you, how they take action, and how the form submission sort of goes. Now, I want to talk about this triangle. Once you figure out this funnel, you got audience, you got message, and then you got offer. So this triangle has to work together, right? Your audience, it has to be laser targeted. You need to reach out to the right people at the right time with the right message. If you don't got your audience found pat, you're just wasting your time with ads, right? Any sort of inbound marketing that you do, if you're not targeted towards them, you have a spray and pray approach, it's just not going to work for you. When it comes to your message, that goes into your ad copy and your creative. What are you actually saying to that person that's watching that ad? How are you going to capture their attention in 8 seconds or less? That's what your ad copy and creative has to do. This is why you see yellow, red, green, these bright colors. They kind of signal your mind as you are driving down and you see red, yellow, green as a signal light while you're driving. So you need some message that resonates with your audience. Then once they actually take action, they need to go to an offer, which is a landing page, right? And that landing page also needs to convert that user. That landing page is what drives that action to actually become a lead. So in order to make an inbound funnel work, it's like an audience, message, offer. All 3 of them need to be grouped together until you find that perfect balance. That's when your marketing funnel is going to work for you to bring inbound leads when it comes to lead gen. So let's talk about ads, right? We got search, we got social, then we got high intent open internet, which not many of you guys know about. So search and social, everybody knows about. 90% of ad dollars go into search and social, right? Google, Facebook, specifically for small businesses. Small businesses, 90% of dollars go into search or social. So Google and Facebook, they're super expensive. They've drastically increased their pricing over the last 10 years or so. It's literally gone 10x. They're all walled in, boxed in. You don't really know what data it is that you're targeting. I've run Facebook ads myself, and sometimes we'll get leads that have no clue about what it is that we do. They're not a fit at all, but that's Facebook's algorithm that's working for you. So, you're boxed in. You don't really know what you're targeting. Super expensive. What the big guys, big companies are using is something called high intent open internet. To be honest with you, this is an undervalued channel right now for small businesses. Think about the homeowner that's reading a blog on the kitchen redesign. Think about the weather channel, so to speak, right? They're watching local news. And think about all the targeting that goes into it. So you could do precision level targeting on the open internet. This is like wives of engineers that are making more than $200,000. These have extremely low CPMs. CPMs is essentially what you're paying to get 1,000 eyeballs. So on something like Meta or Google, you may be paying, I don't know, 20 to 30 bucks for each for 1,000 eyeballs. Maybe 15 if you're really lucky. It's gotten really, really expensive. It used to be 4 or 5, but today, like a minimum, seeing anywhere from 15 to 20. Over here on the high intent open internet, you can go precision level targeting, and you can find these people for extremely, extremely low CPMs. You might be able to get down to $2 to $4, maybe 5 tops with your CPM. So you could reach a lot more people with the exact same message. And the beauty behind this is you can also go to TV, right? So if you think about it, 50% of eyeballs is spent on TV today, right? These are cord cutters who watch streaming. You watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, et cetera, Disney Plus. Why are you not advertising there? Because historically, that's been kept for the big guys, right? Coca-Cola advertises there. But a small service-based business can also advertise on the same channels with precision level targeting to reach your audience in your desired format. So that's called high intent open internet marketing, where it's wide open. You need to be super skilled to do this, but that's what I see working on the lead gen side of thing today. So when we go down this angle, right, like most of you guys have probably worked with traditional marketing agencies and, oh, golly gosh, I hate marketing agencies, right? Every time I've worked with them, I've worked over the last 6 or 7 years, not even one has worked for me, right? Every single time I've just burned capital. Why? Because they just focus on quantity, right? They're just going to give you more leads, more crappy leads, so to speak, right? But they do not focus on quality. And the quality is what actually makes you dollars, right? Without the quality, you're not actually going to move your business forward. So lead gen is all about focusing on quality and having the right quality of leads that actually are able to convert for your business. Because if you don't have that, it's not really going to do that well for you. You're going to end up spending $3,000 a month. That's what their minimum retainers are. You're going to find a bunch of tire kickers, price shoppers. They're too far away, right? They're not even in your local service area. What you need is homeowners with a budget, right? You want people who are ready to buy, right? And you want people in your exact service area. If you don't have those 3 things, you're just wasting dollars. So I'm not a fan of marketing agencies whatsoever, but I bet you a lot of you guys work with marketing agencies today. So marketing agencies, as you know, they target Facebook, Google, right? Expensive, poor targeting, extremely limited, just a social media Google search where your costs are just going through the roof. AI revenue engine. What's this concept, right? Right people, right time, right geolocation, either on the internet or TV, track that person around. That's the only thing, guys, that's working when it comes to a lead gen perspective. So I hope that was informative on lead gen. And, I'll be super honest with you. Even with the most perfect leads, it's not going to save you if you don't talk to them when they're ready to buy, right? So even with perfect leads, it's not going to save you if you don't talk to them when they're ready to buy. And that's the bottom line, right? So you have to be ready to talk to them right away, because if you don't do that, you're literally wasting your ad dollars. And this is what I like to call the revenue lever number 2, speed to lead. And guys, remember, I have ran leads for very, very large firms, and this is my entire business was based around lead gen. I generated more than 8,000 leads per month. And I'll tell you this, most businesses do not have a lead problem. They have something that I like to call a speed to lead problem. And let me tell you what the speed to lead problem is, right? There was recently a Harvard Business Review study done which said that if you do not contact your lead within 5 minutes or less, right? That 5 minutes or less, you lose 80% chance of closing that lead. How crazy is that? Let that sink in for a second, right? If you do not follow up with that lead in 5 minutes or less, you basically lose 80% chance of closing that lead. And this is from Harvard, guys, right? I didn't come up with this. This is a well-known fact at Harvard. What ends up happening is every second you delay, it gives your potential client to go to either competitors or just forget about you altogether. So you want to make it prudent to get back to them right away, as soon as possible. As the age-old saying goes, right? You want to strike while the iron is hot. And that's what you want to do right then and there. Now, we've tested this. We've tested this across 29 service businesses locally. Only 2 responded back to us in 5 minutes. 30% took about 24 hours. The remainder 70%, we still haven't heard from them. How crazy is that, right? People spend a bunch of time, money, effort to generate these leads, but they don't contact their leads at all. That's insane. Being a hot lead, they never got back to me, right? But to be honest with you, it doesn't surprise me, because when I ran my previous business, as a leader, and it was a mistake, I always used to tell people, give them more leads, give them more leads, give them more leads. Let's focus on lead gen. But what I realized after running that business for a while, that people suck at following up with leads. You can give people all the leads in the world, but if they don't have the right system to follow up with that lead, they're just wasting your time, right? They're literally just wasting your time. So this, guys, is super, super important. And, the speed to lead impact is just absurd. So if you generate the same amount of leads, but one business gets back to leads in 5 hours, another business gets back to lead in 60 seconds, right? The conversion rates drastically increase. And you see the revenue growth itself. You can almost make more than $1 million just by getting back to your leads fast enough. So if there's one thing that you take away from today's presentation, right, is get back to the leads fast enough. I hope that's one thing that you take away today. Right when somebody fills out a form, right, their buying intent is the highest. It's like they're at the top of the mountain, they're at the peak, and they're literally ready to pull out their credit card. They're emotionally invested in you. They're actually so interested in you that they're literally ready to do business with you, right? But most businesses do not get back to them. If you don't do so, you're literally lighting your dollars on fire. You're literally lighting your ad dollars on fire if you do not follow up with those leads right away. So honestly, it has nothing to do with your ad creative. It has nothing to do with your landing page. It has nothing to do with your offer. It's all in the follow-up speed. Get back to your leads right away and watch how big of a difference it makes in your own efforts when it comes to actually closing business. So if you're a local service or professional service-based business, right, to turn that attention, whether it's from ads, forms, organic content, wherever, to turn that attention into dollars, you need to get back to your leads right away. I call this the money printer problem, right? If you had a money printer in your business, would you use it? Well, the lead form filling up, wherever the lead comes from, is like the money printer. So you got to act in 5 minutes or you lose 80% chance of closing that lead. So you know what to do. This is the money printer problem. Now, I want you guys to take a moment and really think about this for a second. In your own business today, right, how often, how fast do you guys actually get back to your leads? And be honest with yourself. Can you guarantee every lead gets contacted within 60 seconds, 24/7? Even when you're on a job site, at dinner, or sleeping, can you guarantee that leads get responded back to within 60 seconds or less? The answer is probably not, right? And you're probably thinking, how can I do this? I can't afford to hire full-time staff. My wife would kill me if I had to step out on family, right? I might be having dinner and a lead fills up. So I don't want to take a client call. I don't want to call a client. Well, you're losing 80% chance every 5 minutes. So that's something that you guys have to get good at. You have to get good at this, right? Without getting good at that, you're literally wasting your dollars. And this is where the third lever in the AI revenue engine comes. And they all work together. So let's go right up to the top, right? We're talking about how to install an AI revenue engine because you want to double your revenue. AI is so good at cloning teams, right? It's literally going to clone your revenue team. So this can work in the background for you with automation. And I call this the performance layer that converts your attention into revenue. You're spending all this time to generate this attention, but in order for it to convert into revenue, you need to put in something called automation. And to do that, you're literally going to buy back 3 hours of your time if you do this properly. So let's talk about the things that you should be spending time on that grow your business. You want to be doing more of quoting, proposals, closing deals, and delivering exceptional service to your paying clients, right? The actual customer delivery side of it. You want to do less of chasing leads, answering repetitive questions, sifting through unqualified tire kickers, because that just wastes your time. You're not getting anything out of that if you do go through that exercise. So, Dan, if you read his book, he always says, fill your time with higher value tasks that light you up and make you more money. It's literally in his book, Buy Back Your Time. That's what you got to do, right? You got to buy back your time with automations and let AI do the work. So the top 4 things that you could do to scale your business today is lead qualification, frequently asked responses, scheduling, follow-up, right? Think about all the tier 1 related revenue. Think about all the tier 1 related things that your business has to do today, right? You got SDRs, you got appointment bookers, you got customer service reps. So all that lead qualification, the revenue facing activities, AI can do for you today, right? And these are tasks that you should be automating, because without that automation, you're literally leaving money on the table. You need to be contacting all your leads within 60 seconds or less. And let me show you a demo, right? Let me show you a demo of how this works. Check it out. So we got this form. We just filled it out. This can be any website that you have a form up and running for. You just hit submit. And then I'm going to check our phone. There we go. It starts ringing. Boom.
Hello, this is Emma from Atlas. Am I speaking with Omer?
Yeah, yes you are.
Great, thanks for confirming, Omar. How's your day going so far?
Pretty good, thanks. And yours?
I'm glad to hear that, Omar. My day is going well too. Thank you for asking. Omar, are you ready to take Atlas, the world's first AI revenue engine, for a spin and stop losing leads to slow follow-ups and wasted ad spend?
Yes, I am.
That's fantastic to hear, Omar. Were you impressed with the speed at which my call came through?
Oh yeah, that was super fast.
Great. Just to confirm, your business spends at least $3,000 monthly on ads. Is that correct?
Yes, we do. We get lots of leads.
Perfect. That's exactly who our solution is designed for. Let's get you scheduled for a call with our founder immediately. What date and time works best for you? All appointments are scheduled in Eastern time.
Tomorrow works well any time. Just send me an invite.
Great. I just need to verify a few details. I have your name as Omer Jamal, your email as omer@youratlas.com, and I see you're in the Eastern time zone. Is all that information correct?
Yes, it is. All right. So you guys see that, right? So as soon as the lead form came in, they were interested in our service, right? Somebody picked up the phone, qualified that lead, right? And then it just like a little magnet, that lead got qualified and already ready to go, booked in your appointment. How crazy is that, right? Without you lifting a finger, works like this 24/7 on voice, SMS, chat. You speak it into existence and AI literally clones your revenue team. So 24/7, 365 days, right? You don't have to say, leave a voicemail, we'll get back to you the next day. You don't have to have specific business hours. Today, customers expect instant answers, and you need to be there to give that to them right away. So, first is solve your lead gen, right? Actually target the right people and get the right people at the right time. Second is solve the speed to lead, right? Get back to your leads right away. You need to do that. And then third is actually set up the automation for all of that to work together in a very cohesive manner, because that's what's actually going to drive your business forward. You can't have this, I'll get back to you business, right? It just doesn't work anymore. So literally, right, you're going to buy back 3 hours daily while booking more jobs than ever. And that's the bottom line, right? So you want to book that. Like I said, right, the summary of this is you're going to generate the right leads for less money, right? Speed to lead is going to contact leads for you in 60 seconds to boost conversions. Automation is going to free up your day with automation. So do not make the same mistakes to other businesses, right? Because businesses still lose tons of leads due to slow follow-up. You can't believe how much money you're leaving on the table. I'm happy to dive deeper and show you how much money you're leaving on the table. We've literally done this for many businesses, and we call it a speed to lead journey map. where we could pinpoint exactly how much you're losing. But I can almost guarantee you're losing leads to slow follow-up. 60 seconds or less, right? If you're not doing that, you're going to generate low quality leads that are unqualified, that your sales team is just wasting time. It takes a ripple down your productivity with everybody that's with you. And if you still don't have leads coming in, right, you need that automation. That automation is what sets you free and gets you those leads coming in. So it's what I like to say, right? Without all three of these levers working together, right, you're literally just plugging holes in a leaky bucket. And you're just patch. You're wasting time. And that's what I don't want you to do, is to waste time. You know, all these three things need to work together, 60 seconds or less, right people, right time, automation. It's literally going to be a flywheel effect that's going to 10x your business. So you could do this yourself, right? The goal of today was to pack this up with my summary of what I like to call, how do you double your revenue with an AI revenue engine? So with or without me, you could go do this yourself, right? Just remember, you need to learn Meta, you need to learn YouTube, Google, Snapchat, Quora. You need all this nonsense, right? All these workflows, you need to hire consultants, all that jazz, right? It's probably going to be 12 months minimum. That's how long it took me. And I'm a serial entrepreneur, right? I've been in tech. You're going to spend at least 200 grand on it by wasting time or money, maybe both, right? You could do that. No harm. That's a system. And that's like driving a Toyota. So you're more than welcome to do that. No issues. Or drive a Ferrari, right? Let's get you from point A to point B super fast with an AI revenue engine that's a plug and play in your business, right? With Atlas. And all I ask for is maybe 15 minutes of your time so we could dig into your business and see if this works. Right leads, right time, 60-second response times, right? Automation gives you predictable growth without chaos. That's all. Right? So it's up to you. I'd love to see you in the call. 15 minutes. Let's schedule in now. We're slammed with onboardings, guys, right? Like, it's literally crazy. Dan said it. We're partnered with Dan. It literally saves them 2 people calling and texting full time. You heard him before, right? We've done this for large agencies, call centers, tons of local businesses, right? So let's chat. I'd love to get an opportunity to speak to you. Give me 15 minutes. Let's show you how to install an AI revenue engine in your business. If not, hope you found this information super valuable. Just book a call right below and hope to see you on the call.